Well, in most cases it is not specified. Okay? But there are some situations where if you are going to get your solutions as decimals, means you are supposed to use the quadratic formula, which I will introduce before you go home. Right? But if your factors are going to be integers or they are going to be rational numbers, then it means it can be factorized. But any trinomial which can be factorized means that you can also solve that quadratic equation by using the quadratic formula. So the best method is to use the quadratic formula. Okay? If you use the quadratic formula, you can get the rational roots. You can also get the irrational roots. Okay? So in most cases, you won't be told which method to use. But you are supposed to figure it out based on the question. Which one is the best method? The best is the quadratic formula. Yes?
So as a fail-safe, if you use the quadratic formula every single time, you'll still get the right answers?
Yes. Okay. So from here, let's factor out 2. Okay? If I factor out 2, this becomes 3 over 2x, and that becomes a 4. Okay? I factorized. Then, if I divide both sides by 2, my trinomial is going to become x squared minus 3 over 2x, right? Minus 4 is equal to 0. If you divide, remember, if I divide this 2 by itself, I also divide the 0 by 2, I will get that. Alright? Okay, so the next thing now is, let's check the minus 4 to the right. So x squared minus 3 over 2x is equal to 4. Now, this technique of completing the square is not only important when you are solving quadratic equations. Later in grade 12, when you do grade 12 analytical geometry, you need to know this technique. Okay? Because there are some questions where you need to use it in grade 12 analytical geometry. Like so, from here now, we need to find half of the coefficient of x. So that's half of minus 3 over 2. So half of minus 3 over 2 is like this, divided by 2, which is the same as minus 3 over 2 times 1 over 2. So you get minus 3 over 4. So half of minus 3 over 2 is minus 3 over 4. So it means that I'm going to add the square of minus 3 over 4 on both sides of the equation. Okay? So this becomes x squared minus 3 over 2x plus minus 3 over 4 squared is equal to 4 plus minus 3 over 4 squared. So this becomes x squared minus 3 over 2x plus 9 over 16 is equal to, now 4 minus, okay, that will be 4 plus 9 over 16. Okay? I hope you are following. So if you are completing the square, make the coefficient of the x squared term equal to 1, then find half of the coefficient of x. Add the square of that half of the coefficient of x on both sides of the equation. That's what I know. Right? Then you need to simplify this. Right? The left hand side is very simple. Remember what I told you in the previous example, that half of the coefficient of x, this minus 3 over 4, is going to be part of your binomial. Okay? So we just have to simplify the right hand side. The left hand side is now a perfect square trinomial. So there I've got 64 plus 9, I'll get 73 over what? Over 16. Okay? Right? So I'm going to move on to the next page. Any question? Okay, so on the next page I can write x minus 3 over 4 squared is equal to 73 over 60. Okay? And then from here now, you take square root both sides. So it becomes the square root of minus 3 over 4 all squared is equal to plus or minus the square root of 73 over 60. Right? Then we will get x minus 3 over 4 is equal to plus or minus. Now I hope you are aware that using the division law, we can rewrite this as the square root of 73 over the square root of 60. Okay? So this becomes x minus 3 over 4 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 73 over 4. Then take this minus 3 over 4 to the right hand side. You do that, you get x equal to 3 over 4 plus or minus the square root of 73 over 4. Okay? Now you can leave it like that. Or if you want, you can write as x equal to 3 plus or minus the square root of 73 all over 4. Okay, 73 is not a perfect square. And we can't rewrite it as a product of a prime number and a perfect square, unfortunately. Okay, so we can leave our answer like that. Yes.
Why did you create the minus zero?
Right there.
Why did you split it apart to the minus zero?
How did I get the minus 2 over 4?
Why did you split it apart?
Because I wanted to create a perfect square trinomial on the left-hand side of that equation. The only way you can create a perfect square trinomial is by adding the square of half of the coefficient of x. So you find half of the coefficient of x, you square it, you add that on the left-hand side of the equation and the right-hand side.
So you always have to square it.
Yes, because the idea is, the idea is to come to this or that. The idea is to create a what? A perfect square trinomial.
Are these actually like the level of questions that we get in tests?
Well, sometimes, yes.
Or I think it's just like really tricky questions.
Okay, in grade 11, you will get a question like this. Solve the following quadratic equation by completing the square. That's straight. It will be easy, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? It will be easy. Okay. Is there anybody who has got any question? Right. Can I just ask you to do this one here? Just to test. Okay. Okay, just write class exercise. Can you try to do number 6? Number 6 there. 2x squared minus 7x plus 6. Solve that. To number 6, solve by completing the square.
It's in my bag somewhere. I just don't feel like looking for it. I'm making close to this. Cool. So I have a question. What did you do to the 9 over 16 on the left hand side to get it here?
You just factorize. Remember, I said you want to get your trinomial on the left, right? Half of the coefficient of x must be part of your binomial. That's all. Then you put x there. So you see that x minus 3 over 4. This minus 3 over 4. It's a half of minus 3 over 4. And if you square it, you get 9 over 16.
Okay, I understand. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so as long as you get the half of the coefficient of x correct, be aware that that number will be part of your binomial effect. Always. Okay.
Wait, do we have like a few more minutes?
How many of you have finished? Okay, if you are still doing it, can you carry on quickly, please?
I think that I made a mistake somewhere. Because the root is negative.
We're not supposed to get a root without that being negative. So, let's see, maybe. There's no way that we can get a root which is negative. So there's a mistake somewhere. All right. If anyone wants to go to the bathroom, you can go quickly and come back.
I know what I did wrong. Hey, you would talk later and so on. You would talk later with it. Okay, I got an answer, but it's now vastly different.
Okay. All right. Can I have your attention? So we are doing number 6. Okay, number 6, you have 2x squared minus 7x plus 6.
Would be wrong.
2x squared minus 7x plus 6 equals 0. So the first thing, either you can divide every term by 2, or you can factor out 2 and then you divide. So if you factor out 2, you get x squared minus 7 over 2x plus 3 equals 0. And this will give you x squared